Welcome to the Secret Sauce Podcast. This is a show about relationships with staff, with students, with yourself, with building culture in your classroom, your school, your district, and becoming personally developed so that you can be professionally developed. Be sure and follow our podcast so you don't miss a show. And we're booking now for the 23-24 school year for any type of PD that you need, keynotes, seminars, workshops. Just get in touch with me. I would love to come to your school, your district, and share the secret sauce with you. So let's jump right into the next episode. Here we go. Hi, and welcome to episode number 24 of the Secret Sauce Podcast. I am your host, Kip Schubert, and today I'm just talking about a topic and just a concept, I guess, that's really been on my heart the last couple of weeks. You know, I post regularly on social media, and it's just to encourage and uplift and inspire and help personally develop professionals so that we really can be the game changers for staff and for students. And on a post I made a couple weeks ago, push back and kind of lash out at me with some comments that they're just a teacher. They're not about to teach. It's not their job to be a parent or a counselor or to connect with them or to build relationships. They are there to teach, and the student is there to learn. And as I read those responses and I responded to them, they ramped up their rhetoric and hate even more. And I didn't respond with that they're wrong. I just responded with, how about this? Or I wonder if that. And I could just sit there and think, wow, we have educators, teachers, administrators, coaches, support staff who believe their only job is to give content, to teach content to kids or to adults or to whoever's underneath them. And they totally dismiss the fact that they are in the greatest profession in the world and have such great opportunities to change lives every single day. And I had this one guy who just wanted to argue the fact that it didn't matter if a kid came from a broken home, if the dad was out all night long, or he was beating his mother, or if the mother was an addict, or if he was living with grandparents or living on his own or homeless, or his parents had died, or any divorce, or any of that stuff that has gone on in the lives of our kids. And so much more that happened today than even used to happen even when I was in middle school many, many moons ago. And he just kept on that it wasn't his problem that the kids that we have today and the staff that we have today, the adults that we have today, have just so many more issues and complexities with their lives than maybe what we used to. It wasn't their deal. It wasn't their job to fix that or to be there for that student. It was their job to make them learn. And I was just like, they're not going to care how smart you are or how much content you give them until they know that you actually care about them. And then the response I got from that comment was that is exactly why the education in America, the educational system is broken, because teachers like you want to care about kids way before content. Of course, my thoughts were, the opposite, buddy. You need to look in the mirror. But they really don't. Kids don't care what we know until they know that we care. And just in my experiences, I found that connection and purpose are the two biggest things that we as human beings need, whether they're a kindergartner, a senior in high school, or an adult, or a superintendent of schools. All of us need to be seen, heard, and loved. And the kids don't care how much Western geography or what strategy or instructional new pedagogical baloney that I throw at them that teaches them Western geography or about the Mayans and the Aztecs and the Incas. The kids are never going to remember that. They don't care about that. Sure, they'll learn it. Sure, I can get them to exceed expectations on a test. Sure, I can get them to remember and take in higher level thinking skills that will pay off for them as they go on to other courses. But what they want most of all is to know that I care and to know that I love them. And so what we do as educators is way more than just teaching. It's way more than just content. It's family. I don't always like to be the pseudo parent, but in our world today as educators, man, I don't look at it as a burden. I look at it as an opportunity. It's not an obstacle. It's not an adversity. It's an advantage for me to connect with kids. As a teacher and coach, I've got kids that are in their 30s now, some in their 40s. I got a lot of guys who I've coached who are in their 20s and getting out of college and getting into marriages and into life. And I hear from them all the time, and I'm like, hey, coach, man, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle this situation. What do I do? We're family. They don't remember the greatest soccer practice that I coached with them. They probably couldn't remember their stats from their senior season. They don't even probably remember the record that we had. They remember the connection. When I was going through my alcoholism and I was just trying to survive and hang on. And I've shared this before. Before I went into rehab, I had missed 47 days of school that year. It's 2014, heading into spring break. I went in on March 21st, 2014. Almost have 9 years of sobriety now. And I was just trying to survive. The kids, when I was there, filled me with just a purpose to continue on and not die. And I had a student reach out to me recently that I had back then, and her name was Carly. And she just told me how much I did for her and how I saved her life. And little did she know that she helped save mine. And so it's so much more about content. It's so much more about teaching. I mean, if you could just change and alter the trajectory of one person's life, wouldn't loving and leading others to believe and discover they were the greatest miracle in the world, wouldn't that be worth it? Wouldn't that connection be worth it? We are so more than just a teacher, an educator, an administrator, a coach, a para, a janitor, a school bus driver. We are family. We are in the greatest profession of the world, and we have the opportunity to change lives. We have the opportunity to alter the course of some young person who has no family, who's living in poverty, who's maybe contemplating suicide, maybe getting into addiction. We have the power to bring them up and out of that and into a life that they always dreamed they could live. So why wouldn't we take that opportunity? If that teacher's listening to me, those kids you're teaching, they're not going to remember anything about math that you taught them. They're going to remember how you made them feel. Don't ever forget that. Because they're just not going to remember the content. They're going to remember the connection. So to all my educator friends out there, all you people that are in professions where you can impact people directly, especially young people, even in business when you can impact those around you that you work with, we have the opportunity every single day to make a difference, to make an impact. Create an impact where you are. It's not that difficult. Use your natural gifts and abilities. Combine that with what moves you to emotion and passion, and do it to impact people. You can do it on your job. You can do it in your school, in your classroom. You can do it on your game athletic field. You can do it in the locker room. You can do it in your admin meetings. You can do it in your home with your own family. But that's why we're here. Yeah, I'm an educator and I teach Western geography. And I want my kids to succeed in knowing the content and the higher level thinking cog skills that go with that course. But most importantly, I want them to know and leave that room knowing I love them, knowing that they really can be everything that they dreamed they can be, not what I tell them they should be, or not what they've heard their whole life is success, what they want to be. We have such great power as educators. We have such great opportunity and advantage every single day to make a difference. So when you're burnt out and getting burnt up, like we all are, remember that. You have such a great purpose to change lives. And people, you are way more than just a teacher. Till next time. Thank you for listening to the Secret Sauce Podcast. Be sure and follow our show so you don't miss an episode. And I would love to connect with you. Look for me on Facebook at The Secret Sauce with Kip Schubert. You can check out my website at kipschubert.com. And I would love to talk to you about how I can work with you to bring the secret sauce to your school, your district, your staff, and your students. Education is in a tough spot. It's been a really tough last couple of years, but we have the greatest profession in the world. So let's keep climbing. Let's keep doing great things. And let's always remember that we're leading and loving students and staff to believe and discover that they really are the greatest miracle in the world. Next time.